never had a concert in Sanford Stadium ever, and we may never have one again. We're going to be the only college stadium that this gentleman's coming to. He's from Macon, Georgia. He's a Georgia Bulldog. I want to introduce Jason Aldean.
A kid and a young Aldean, well, I mean, you're still a young Aldean, but I mean like a really young Aldean, and you were sitting in Sanford Stadium watching a football game. Did you ever in your wildest dreams think you'd be playing a concert there?
Not at all. Not even a little bit. And even, honestly, even when we started talking about this a while back, started talking about where we were going to play shows and do all that kind of stuff, Sanford Stadium came up, and I still kind of blew it off like, probably not going to happen, just because they had never had a show here. I mean, just it wasn't something they did here, and to finally, I still don't even know how we pulled it off, but to say that it's going to be probably the highlight of my career so far would be an understatement.
Do you know the stage setup? Have you guys talked about that? Have you got that far yet?
We're actually just starting to talk about that now. I've seen a couple of things. A couple of mock-ups they've kind of sent over, and we've made some changes, and so usually that stuff seems to happen over the holidays while we've got a few months off or whatever.
Right.
So we've already started the ball rolling on it. And I think we're probably going to add a couple of different things for these stadium shows that we probably wouldn't have maybe at an amphitheater or whatever, but it's going to be cool.
Well, the Kicks Facebook page, Twitter, everybody blowing up because Jason Aldean and Luke Bryan at Sanford Stadium. I mean, like, people are just, they think they're having a dream.
Well, we decided we were going to do this show, and when we got the go-ahead, my first call was to Luke, and I said,
let me guess, he said, hell yeah!
I didn't even get the sentence out of my mouth. I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, we just pulled the trigger on a show at Sanford Stadium, and just want to know if you would want to be on the yes, and that was kind of how it went. So he's a big Georgia football fan, and obviously from Georgia too, and there was nobody else I wanted on the show more than him, and I know he wanted to be a part of it.
Tell us about the new CD, man. You got, 15 tracks on it?
Oh, the best thing you've ever done, can I tell you?
Thank you very much. I'm excited. I mean, it's been almost 2 years since we put out an album, and and I felt like every time we've gone in the studio to make an album, it's we've gotten a little better. We've learned a little bit each time, and just kind of grown in the studio. And I feel like this album, kind of reflects that a lot. Songs, I feel like we had a ton of time to find songs and get in the studio. We didn't have to rush around to try to put an album together. And so ultimately, the end result was an album that I'm really, really proud of, and obviously it's doing really well right now. So I'm excited about it. Waiting to put a new album out is like waiting on a baby to be born. It seems like it takes forever, and then it's finally there, and you're just like, you can breathe a little bit, and I'm just glad it's out there for people to hear now.
On the song with you and Luke and Eric, were you guys together in the studio, or did y'all do separate tracks?
We actually cut the track. Me and my producer cut the track, and I went in and did my vocal. And then Luke came in a different day. I actually was in the studio when he came in, so I was there when he cut his part. And then Luke and I were actually out on the road on tour together when Eric came in to do his part. So I wasn't there for Eric, but I was there for Luke's part.
Did you have to coach Luke a lot?
I did. I actually did. Luke's a great singer. It's like when he's singing songs that he wrote, because he knows exactly how the melody is supposed to go, but when he's singing like a song somebody else wrote, he like sometimes wants to change the melody. I'm like, do it again, and so I kind of hammered on him a little bit, but it turned out great.
1994, my favorite song on the CD.
I know. I was worried that Joe Diffie might be a little pissed at me after that song, but apparently he loves the song. So, but no, that song's a lot of fun, and probably one of the weirdest, quirkiest things that we've ever recorded.
It's awesome though.
But I was a teenager of the '90s. You know what I mean? And I came up in the bars playing all those songs that it talks about. And I tell people this story all the time. There was a street party in my hometown, and they had different stages set up on different streets, and Kenny Chesney was on one stage and Joe Diffie was on the other stage. This was like in the early mid-90s, and Joe Diffie had 7,000 people watching him, and Kenny had about 300. So that just kind of puts it in perspective
Yeah.
of, you know, how big a star Joe was in those days.
Joe just becoming at your rate. That's
Yeah, I
awesome.
love
Man.
it.
That's
Go, Joe.
awesome, man.
Go,
Go,
Joe.
Joe.
We've heard you say before that you'd rather have a Georgia national championship than a Grammy.
Yeah.
Obviously not happening this year. So how long do you think that playing Sanford Stadium will pacify you before you start getting that itch again? I mean, you're going to be on that field.
I don't know if it'll pacify me for a national championship. It'll, you know, it'll pacify my pride for a while. You know, the last time Georgia won a national championship, I was too young to even remember it.
I'm with you.
So, I mean, something's got to happen here. And, you know, I feel like we've been so close and had a team that could have done it, you know, a couple of different times over the last 10 years or so, and just seem to always kind of have that one game where we stumble a little bit. But I love Coach Rick.
Unfortunately, it had to be South Carolina this year.
I know.
Yeah.
I love Coach Rick. I think he's a great coach, and I, you know, I got a good feeling that at some point it's going to happen, and it might be next year. Murray's coming back for another year, and
Did he already tell you that?
he didn't tell me that, but I'm assuming he's going to be back. If he doesn't, I'm going to come back over here and haunt him.
Awesome night. I mean, 7 songs tonight. I was like, wow, this is better than anything. So that was fantastic, and we are so geared up for April 13th.
Sanford Stadium here just was number 1 on the list, so I am super excited.
I think it's awesome that Jason would want to come back here to do a concert like that. I don't think there's ever been a concert in Sanford Stadium, at least not like this, and it's going to be a great event. I think it's a week after our spring game, so that'll be a lot of fun.